Okay, for my presentation, I chose to do games in education. So the description of my learning environment, I actually do use games in my classes. I teach business classes and mostly teach to ninth graders. So the description of my learning environment is it's an introduction to business class in the ninth grade. My classroom is set up in a group kind of way, so my desks are set up for students to work in groups. My environment, I would say, is relaxed but structured in the fact that students feel at ease in my classroom. I try to make everything as fun as possible, but they also know that there is structure. They have to complete their assignments. Learning has to take place, and there are specific roles and things that they need to follow. Just some technology background. All of my students do have a school-issued MacBook Air laptop, and my classroom is equipped with a smartboard business projection system, Apple TV, iPad, and then I have 2 laptops. Since I'm a business class, I have a business presentation set up, meaning that in the front of my classroom, I have a podium. In my podium, I have an HP laptop, and that projects to the smartboard and to a TV in the back of the classroom. On my desk, I also have the same presentation hookup, and that's where my MacBook is connected, so I can switch back and forth between my MacBook, my HP, and if I have my Apple TV on, I can do Apple TV and show my iPad that way. The kids in my class are made up anywhere from 15 to 20 students who are in ninth grade, around 14 to 15 years old. And they're in this class because they chose business as their career pathway. This is the first class that the students take in the business track. So then they're just pretty much learning basic business concepts in this class that will assist them as they move through our business career path, which are different classes that the students take for their 4 years in high school. So for this slide, what is gaming? I just kind of came up with my own teacher perspective of what I think gaming is. So as you can see on the slide, I said gaming is used in education as a support for topics learned. Students play the game to further use their knowledge on a topic, to win the game, and to learn how the concepts apply to real life. Teachers have used games in learning for many years. Gaming comes in all different forms, and for the purpose of this lesson, I will be focusing on internet gaming. So gaming, and we can all remember as a student playing review games in class, playing different games that focused on the content that we were learning, etc. So for this, I'm going to focus more on the games that are free online that the internet has to offer, that are great support systems, and really help students apply the knowledge that they are learning in class. So why gaming? So the first reason that I found, according to Education World, and something that I also agree with, gaming is fun and engaging for the students. Whenever you say the word game, students instantly perk up. They're excited. They want to play. And it always helps to maybe put in a little bit of that competition value in the classroom, and engages students. Gaming is not just for those who enjoy gaming. It also engages students who maybe would prefer more of a personal interaction with the content that they're learning. It also engages students who like to be competitive. It engages students who enjoy using a computer, all of those different reasons. The second reason is students use and develop important skills through playing games. So they're using their critical thinking skills. They're using and developing identification skills as far as identifying the problem. They're using their skills to look at the game and see this is what the end result is, this is what our end goal is, and how do we get there? What do we use to get to that point of the game? Reason number 3, students are still learning about the content through playing the game. So when students are done learning the lesson in the classroom, it's not as if the learning stops there. The game helps to support the content that's being learned. It shows students different ways that this content can be manipulated and used. It shows students how to take this content and apply it to real life. Which goes on to my reason number 4, students are connecting what they learn to real life experiences. As we've been going through this class, and as I've been going through the LDT master's program so far, a lot of the information that we've been learning come back to this authentic experience. So how is this information that students are learning tying back into their real life experience? How are they going to take this information and apply it to their life or apply it to their future? For my reasoning, business is a really awesome topic, and I guess like career path or class groupings, content area, to be able to use gaming, because a lot of the concept that they are using in the games, they're going to use in their real life, whether they have a part-time job, they're furthering their knowledge in business, the career path, just all kinds of different things along those lines. And here's a quote I found from an interesting article from a private university from Dr. Lashira McAlehany. She says, gameplay is visible evidence of comprehension. It requires understanding, skills, and strategies to succeed. So just as I had mentioned before, one of the reasons that I personally think gaming is important in education is because, like I said, it's requiring students to really use those skills and to understand and to come up with a strategy and to see the end goal and to want to succeed in that goal. Okay, before I get to the educational value in gaming, I wanted to show you guys a game that I like to use. So I really like to use cool math games. So as you can see, sorry, that bar keeps popping down. Okay, so as you can see, Cool Math Games, it's a pretty cool website. At the top here, you can see they have all different types of topics or content area that you can look for students to play games, and then you can scroll through. They see what's new, and then there's also different ways to search for the games. I wanted to show you. So if you go to All Games A to Z, sorry, my computer's been a little slow. If you go to Games All A through Z, you can see as students scroll through, they can see what kind of topics or content area this game will be helping. So we can see this is talking about strategy, HTML, number. Down here, the same thing, logic. If you scroll through, strategy, skill, logic, HTML again. So that it kind of shows the students what that game will be helping them with and what skills that game will be focusing on. For the purpose of my business class, I like to play the lemonade stand. So if we scroll and go to H to M and look up the lemonade stand, you can see it's talking about strategy and numbers, which is perfect for the content that's being taught in my Intro to Business class. So the background of the lemonade stand game is students have a lemonade stand. So you can see right here with the directions, they have 7, 14, or 21 days to make as much money as possible. So how this relates back to business is when we talk about a business, we go through the process of starting a business. What does it take? The timeline, how much money, what supplies do you need to buy, inventory control, supply management, your finances, your profits, your accounting, all of that kind of stuff. So it takes all of these topics and it combines them into a real simple game for the students to be able to play to connect back to that information. So to set up the game, students come to this, they click OK. They can select, all right, then here for inventory and purchasing. So they have to look at, so if you look down here, you can see it's day number 1. They start out with $20. The temperature is 77 degrees and it's hazy. So these are the factors that they have to take into consideration because their lemonade stand is outside. So just like any business, for example, like Hershey Park, they have to take into consideration what the weather is going to be like that day, what time of the year it is, you know, different factors like that as far as what their business, their sales, the amount of customers that are coming through the park every day, all that kind of stuff. So students can select buy more cups, and it shows you have different options right here. So I'm just going to pick some random products. Now for cups, we know the cups don't ever expire, so maybe that's a product that the student might want to bulk up on because they don't go bad. Lemons are a product that will expire, so that would be something that I would explain to the students as they're playing. That's part of inventory control. So maybe since it's only going to be 77 degrees, we'll do 30 lemons, right? And then same thing with sugar, we'll just buy random, and then we'll do ice. So once all the supplies are purchased, you can see that when students come back, if they need help playing the game or if they need to declare bankruptcy, if they're losing money, then you set your price. So how many lemons per pitcher, sugar, all that kind of stuff. So as students go through the game and they click OK, so you can see it tells you the time, the customers that are going by. Now you can fast forward it. So you can see that there's different customer reviews that pop up, like, I think there was one earlier that said more ice. Right, there's one saying it's too expensive, more ice, all that kind of stuff. So all those different customer reviews come up. You can see down here that the students can see their money increasing. So at the end of the day, it'll bring up a screen that looks like this. So it'll tell you your end of the day report. So you managed to sell 25 cups to 107 potential customers. So again, this is a way that I would take this and tie this back into the lesson with the students. We would talk about quality assurance, customer service, things like that. The popularity, how can we increase all that? So when students are done with day one, they click OK. You can see inventory losses, our ice has melted. So then students go back in, they buy more of their product, and they continue with their game. So I'm going to go back to my presentation now. I just wanted to show that so you guys can understand where I'm coming from in my presentation. So the next part, so what's the educational value in gaming? So for me personally, I think gaming provides another way for students to apply their knowledge that they're learning. It's a way for them to be able to take that, get the real life experience, and to really understand how that works. I found with using the lemonade stand, the kids really feel like they're running their own business. Even though we only do it for a class period here and there, we make a little class competition to see who can make the most money. It really shows the students what it's like to have a competition, what it's like to deal with customers, what it's like to deal with inventory control, quality control of the product, all those different things that they would experience in a real life business setting, but it takes that and it tones it down to their level. I think that's the biggest educational value, is that you can find games at all the different levels in education to really help the students to take the knowledge that they're learning and to apply it to real life. So how I would integrate this into gaming. So first, what I do in my classroom is I teach the lesson. So the teacher would teach the lesson. They would go through the normal lesson procedures with whatever they may do, reviewing vocab, presentations, maybe some reading, some articles, anything like that. Then the students, maybe like the next day or halfway through that class period, would play the game. So they would take this knowledge they just learned and they would apply it. So instead of doing a worksheet or instead of doing a case study or a current event research, the students can take that information and apply it to what they're learning and physically create that topic or that content. And in my case, they're creating their lemonade stand. After they're finished playing the lemonade stand, the third part of the lesson would have students go back and reflect on their experience through playing the game, have a class discussion, tie this information back into the original content being lost. So what I like to do is I like to create a vocab wall for this. So we go back in and we talk about, okay, what was inventory? How did this apply in the game? What was customer service? How did that apply in this game? What was quality assurance? How did that apply in this game? What was the entrepreneurial mindset? How did that apply in this game? So students can take that information now that they have the firsthand experience, and they can go back and tie it into their key vocab. And it also gives them something to look back on to refresh their memory for the lesson, for any kind of future assignment, anything like that. So is gaming and education working? So in my personal opinion, I think it is. I think it's providing another support for students. It provides something that they can do at home or at school if they have computer access at home. I also think it's appealing to our Gen Z group of people who love technology. They love games. They love anything that involves those two topics. So I truly think it is. And if you click this video link, I'll take you to the Wall Street Journal, a quick 3-minute video of research that they did on is gaming and education working, and who are the people, the driving force behind it. And you'll see a lot of the driving force behind gaming and education is actually the textbook developers, the higher ups, in education that are developing the curriculum that teachers are teaching. So it's pretty interesting to see and hear their point of view of how gaming is working, and to also seeing it being applied in the video. Thank you guys for listening.